to the Hookup on Music with your host, Tony Bird.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 147th episode of the Hookup on Music. It's been a little while, but we are glad to be back and glad to be sharing different music with you here this evening, which is always exciting, always something that I am always happy to be doing here with you. And we're back. We're back, and there's been a lot to happen, and it's been goings and doings since we have been gone. But let me make one promise to you. Since we've been gone, we've been doing nothing but listening to music every single day. Just a lot of stuff coming in and going. But you know what? The one thing that always gets everything right back on track is some music. And it is good for so many different things. It is good if you happen to be enjoying the weather outside. It is good if you happen to be working out. It is good if you happen to be just going through any old little thing, changes, different stratospheres in your life. Music is always a important part. Now, going forward, we will always start the show with something new, something you might not have heard. So let's get started right on that. My main man, Mike, who's been on the show before, is always sharing me good music. He has done it again within the last week. He has shared me some excellent stuff. And what's even better is I haven't heard of either one of these artists. So please check it out. Let's get started with Durutti Column. Go check out Liars. A very awesome little jam right there. Really appreciative that he sent out that one. It's got just some good vibes that you may be looking for, especially in these early sunny months that are ahead. And that's what's always cool, because whenever he sends me something, it's never like in any kind of place, any kind of different key. It's always just coming from every different way. And definitely that was really awesome. And just Monday, he sent me this band called Genre is Death. I don't ever know if it's genre or Jenner, but genre, I know it is. Genre is Death, and by Attractive People is the name of the album. Really also very awesome stuff. It's got a really cool dark vibe going on, some really awesome riffage, which we always appreciate here at Hookup on Music, is some excellent riffage. But definitely something that I definitely think is worth your time and effort is checking these bands out, because we want to give these artists a little bit of some play here. But let's go on a little bit more on Genre is Death. They are from New York, and Attractive People came out on May 1st, which is really kind of right within since the last time we spoke. And definitely like to dig into these guys a little bit more as we happen to go. But if you're looking for some cool stuff, their merch section on their website has some really awesome stuff. You can get the album Attractive People for $25. Not bad if you're looking for something to get yourself jolt started in a new artist or just a whole new regard. But I'm really kind of excited just for music in general. Definitely cool to get into that stuff. So thank you very much for sending that in to me, Mike. If anyone else out there ever has anything that you would like me to share or talk about here on this show, I will not be afraid to do that, because that's what we do here on the Hookup on Music. We share really cool stuff, like the fact that Anthrax has got a new album coming out September 18th, and they've already dropped the very first single. It's For the Kids is the name of this new song. And the name of the new album is Cursum Perfigio. It's going to be released, it seems to be, on Megaforce Records. Um, we're always excited when Anthrax has new music. If you happen to be um, checking out this weekend the Milwaukee Metal Fest, which is just happens to be right over the border. If you are in the Chicagoland area, if not anywhere, you can drive from or fly in from anywhere to see this Milwaukee Metal Fest. Because let's just get started. Here is that they've got some they got some pretty cool stuff coming in here this weekend. Um, this Anthrax song, though, it's definitely one that's going to stick with you. Before we get more into the Milwaukee Metal Fest here in a couple minutes, um, this Curse Imperfectio album is going to be really, really good. Joey Belladonna is on lead vocals on this new one. It's been a little while since their last album, so they're they're thinking of back the last minute and a half I was about to speak there. It's been a little glitchy. But get back to what we were saying here, to the Milwaukee Metal Fest. Old Anthrax lead singer John Bush will be there on Sunday performing. And honestly, since we happen to be here right now on the subject, let's just talk about some of this along with some other really, really awesome concerts. Milwaukee Metal Fest. Again, was pointing out the fact that they got some really awesome artists this year. They got John Bush, lead singer of Anthrax, on the Sound of White Noise album, Stomp 442, along with a couple others that are just really, 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 really good and worth your time in general. But that being said, he's playing Milwaukee Metal Fest. Also playing Milwaukee Metal Fest is Ministry, which recently we have been really digging deep into Ministry, especially albums that are really, really awesome and in your face, like Psalm 69, which, if it's been a long time since you've dug into that one, I think it's about time you dig back into it and hit up the track Scarecrow. That is a song that is worth all songs weight in gold. So take a listen to that one. Take a listen to Ministry too if you're heading on out to that Milwaukee Metal Fest. Also playing the Milwaukee Metal Fest, who we've mentioned here before on the show, is Acid Bath. We have been digging into those guys more. Check out the song The Blue. It definitely has a lot of awesome riffage going on into it. A longer track, great bass. A band that's back in the day, I don't know where I was when I was listening to all this awesome metal music. But that being said, it really does a good job of narrowing into what they were going for, I think, as artists. And that was just really kind of bringing the heavy and bringing the heat in so many different ways, and we're always appreciative when bands bring the heat. And speaking of bands bringing the heat, we have a lot of awesome stuff to continue on to this show, and I just want to keep thanking you for coming back and reaching back out to us. Like I said, life happens, and now we are back to pretty much grooving to where I think we would like to be. But that being said, you can never just talk too much about music. In a little later episode during the week here, we're going to dig into what's the word I'm looking for? A festival that we love here at the Hookup on Music, a festival that we attended last year, a festival called Riot Fest. And to give you a little bit of a taste into that, there's a lot of artists, and we're going to just go through a whole lot of them in one of these next in the next two episodes. So not the next episode, the episode after that episode. So episode 149, we're going to start digging into that Riot Fest lineup, which just is loaded with lots of different artists. Lots of different stuff really all together. So to start it off today, we decided to, just really kind of hit you with a little bit of a artist of the week, just to kind of get you primed and ready for the Riot Fest breakdown here coming up. So with picking out the artist of the week, I had to again go with an artist that I was very unfamiliar with until recently, and I have been digging and digging and digging into this artist a little bit more. And it's interesting what I'm pulling out because I'm enjoying everything that I'm hearing from them. Um, the band is Rise Against, which formed right here in Chicago in 1999. Their current lineup has Tim McElrath on vocalist and rhythm guitar. We have Zach Blair, a guitarist, Joe Principle, I'm sorry, not Principle, Joe Principi, which is an even cooler name on bass, and drummer Brandon Barnes. Really cool hooks. They got an aggressive style, rapid tempos. Add in a little bit of everything into their music as far as just really grabbing the listener and getting them off into a place where they're going to be rocking pretty hard and pretty often, which Rise Against, if you are familiar with the band, which I was not, but been tailing from other people, their live shows bring a really, 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 really great up vibe, which is what you're looking for. But you're saying, like, how many albums these guys have? 10 studio albums. The last one coming out in August of last year. So we're about a year away from their last album, which is called Ricochet. Which definitely digging into this one, opening track Nod is really good if you're thinking to pick up your day a little bit and get it started in a way that you will not be disappointed. But Rise Against definitely has all of the makings of a really, really good band. Um, but digging back into going to the beginning, the Unraveling, this is their debut studio album, which was on Fat Wreck Records, which is just interesting that if you go back to the new stuff and you listen to the original stuff, which if you're doing some time here, first album came out in '01. Now we're in 25 was the last one. It's a 24-year difference. If your bands that you are listening to aren't evolving, sometimes in a way that other people do not like, and sometimes in a way that brings it all to the forefront and people keep digging into wanting more of what you are doing. Um, just by me being a new listener and listening to all of these albums, definitely get that feeling because album 5, Appeal to Reason, is kind of where I got the song Savior is kind of where I started listening in and going, who are these guys? These guys are a little bit catchy and trying to get onto that healthy track and all of that is definitely something that I want to do, and listen to their music definitely pumps me up when you are trying to get into those kind of headspaces. But also wanting to point out too that really quick that if you are watching on YouTube and would like to listen to more of an audio version going forward, or vice versa, if you're listening to the audio version and you would like to watch it, it's on YouTube. And if you'd like to listen to it, it's pretty much anywhere you would like to listen to your podcast. And if it is not, please reach out to us and I will make sure that it gets on there. But back to Rise Against. The Suffer and the Witness, their fourth album, really getting good stuff. But for me, who kind of seen them or heard of them or knew their name for quite a long time, the album Siren Song of the Counterculture. I was trying to say that too. Siren Song of the Counterculture. Siren Song of the Counterculture. Okay, I did it twice. But really kind of starts to pick up a little bit more of the bands. And it's also their first album on a major label, DreamWorks. How many times you get in those conversations with people? Oh, they're on a major label now. They changed. They're not the same band anymore. They're not who we thought. They're different. you know what? I again will point out and say that if you're a person who is into the whole, well, they're different, this is um definitely suggest that you a I definitely suggest that you you know every band you like. There's got to be some songs you like. That's the one thing we always fight for here at the Hookup on Music, is that if you listen to certain artists and you listen to certain bands, they are definitely going to always impact you. You can't just erase and just throw away the good work of any band. Maybe you can stop listening to them. That's okay. Um, but what can you not do is just all of a sudden say, hey, you know what? These guys are not good anymore. This is not the type of artist that I want to listen to. But, people do it all the time. You know, if you are looking at this gentleman right over my shoulder blowing a smoke ring, Mr. Tom Petty, if you like Tom Petty from the beginning, I don't know where in his career he would have lost you. If you're going to say, well, he made some albums and weren't as popular. Well, popularity and losing somebody is a completely different conversation. But Siren Song of the Counterculture, one that I've just, again, started digging into, sadly, opening track, State of the Union. Really, really good. We're all about the opening tracks here at the Hookup on Music. If you are unfamiliar with just how awesome opening tracks are, go back and listen to all your albums and send to us your favorite opening tracks. That's a conversation that I can have, or will always have, and should have at any point of any day of my life. But there is always really, really good stuff in that. But a band that comes close to your hometown, you always got to kind of support them in some certain way. But again, you know what I mean? He was Rolling Meadows High Schools, where McLarath was born, which is cool because Rolling Meadows is really close by to Chicago. But also really cool is that he has the same condition, which is cool, as David Bowie, which they have two eyeballs that are different colors. Some very interesting facts there being thrown your way. David Bowie and Tim McGrath. What do they have in common? They both have heterochromia, where their eyes are two different colors, which is kind of cool in another way. But also really, really cool is that they stand up for something. They stand up to the things they believe in. They stand up to the ideology of straight edge, a belief that promotes the retaining from use of any kind of alcohol, tobacco, drugs, and excess of the punk subculture. So it takes a piece, it takes some life, it takes quite a lot to just give yourself in and want to do that. So much props to them. And as we continue to dig into them, and if you know something more, something that maybe we don't know, maybe something from the Nowhere Generation album that we just started listening to technically last night, please let us know. Let us know where your fandom of Rise Against has started, and we will definitely talk about it, because again, the advertising that I like to do on this show is that we will always talk about anything that you want to talk about, if you have the time to talk about it, which is always appreciative down here in our little music store, our little music area. So let us know. Let us know what you think. Speaking of really, really cool, by the time you're watching this or happen to watch this, it might be a little too late. But tonight on June 3rd in Chicago, we got a little bit of Claypool's Gold coming around, and you're like, what's Claypool's Gold? It is the Flying Frog Brigade, the Lennon Claypool Delirium, and Primus all playing on one bill. and it's just loaded with Les, which we can't speak highly enough here on the show. Les, everything from the Holy Mackerel album and Sausage, all the way down to um, the new stuff that they've been working on and putting out. They just came out with a new EP, with a new song, Grizz. This old Grizz is the name of the new track, but also on that is Puddle's Pity Party, and Prime is hooking up to do a little Devo cover, Holy Diver, which I've seen them play at the in clips. He came out at Riot Fest, and these Puddle's Pity Party is just a trip if you have not been able to seen or catch that. So go into that, check that out. Check out that Primus EP. We love Primus. If you're going to the show tonight and you're watching this after the fact, curious to see what the set list is. One good thing about Les and the Boys is they're always switching stuff up. It's cool that he's able to go out there and rock for that length of time, and honestly put his best bass forward and just jam for all the people that are out there wanting to jam on this. But you know, Les always is jamming, always jamming, always putting in really, really good stuff. You know, we don't have any complaints for Les Claypool. Oysterhead's another good one with Trey from Fish and Stuart Copeland from The Police. So definitely interesting to see what they play tonight. If you have not checked out 9 Inch Noise, this is a collaborative musical project between industrial rock band 9 Inch Nails and Boys Noise, which is Alexander Rida. It emerged because they collaborated on the Challengers, the Tron Aries soundtrack. And it was they also came out and played a little bit at the beginning of the 9 Inch Nails Peel It Back tour. But recently, when we were gone, Coachella held their music festival in California, which would be amazing to be in that beautiful weather. But if you missed the 9 Inch Noise performance, definitely worth your time to go back on YouTube and check that out. Digging deep is some really, really, really good stuff. Really also really good is they released an album just called 9 Inch Noise, which is loaded with it's loud. It's very, very cool in a lot of different ways. And Closer, their remix that they did on that is really, really, really good. But they also dip into some stuff from Year Zero, Vessel. They Parasite, How to Destroy Angels, a song there, which, if you're not familiar, is really, really, really good stuff. That was the band that Trent Reznor did with his wife, Marakeen Mandig, which really is awesome. She also appeared at that Coachella festival, which shows that their collaborations of the things that they do together doesn't lose any focus to the general nature of being awesome and being successful and being great. But to be fair, that's exactly what they go ahead and they put forward is really awesome and great stuff. But checking into that is something that should be on your radar if you have not dug into that. Copy of which is a good one, from the Hesitation Marks album. But Atticus Ross, a gentleman who started working with Trent on a musical project called Tapeworm, but began working with 9 Inch Nails in 2005. But their work together on musical scores, is amazing, really, when you think about it. If you go back to his work on just the Book of Eli before he got to work with Trent Reznor, really, really great stuff there that I think is is interesting. It's interesting when these artists decide to branch and do a little bit of this and do a little bit of that, which we can't overstate enough, especially here in 2026. We are just started the 6th month. We're almost halfway through the year. What are some of the things that you've enjoyed so much about the music in 2026 so far? There's a lot of stuff that is dropping, a lot of new stuff. Always curious and interesting to hear your perspective on all of it, which is generally a good perspective to hear because you're also big, huge listeners to all the awesome stuff that is music, no matter what it is. So please, if by chance you're listening in and you're like, he didn't talk about any of the bands I like, well, we can, please share them with us. Or if I miss something, we like to jump around and do a lot of different stuff. And tonight is one of those days. In news that I just did not see on my radar is I guess half of Milli Vanilli is out there performing, which I did not know or think of. They were going to have some concert with him down in Washington, the Freedom 250 anniversary concert, which had a lot of artists that were not at the top of their game, but hey, if they're there for a celebration, what are you going to do? But all of these artists, which included everybody from Morris Day and the Time, all the way down to Vanilla Ice, who at the time of press is still available if you are looking to drive from Chicago or California to see this legend perform. It may be possibly not worth your time or worth your time, depends on how you're looking at it. But found it interesting to see and hear that one Milli Vanilli is still out there and is still performing. And just artists, you know what I mean? Artists performing. Also, while we were gone, which we're going to talk about on the next episode, because if we don't, I'm going to be really upset, is Corrosion of Conformity came out with a brand new album. So we're going to be talking about that on the next episode coming up. That's really, really good stuff. It's a double album filled with amazingness. And that's a band that has been part of my musical journey since 1997, which is pretty incredible and pretty crazy. But if you got time, go back and check out the other 146 episodes here of the Hookup on Music. Would really appreciate that. Anything with the Hookup on Music, we have been on. It's getting drafty on here, drafting cool musical ideas. If you're in a film, check out At the Show. We are going to be back this Friday, which is going to be the 5th. Again, today is June 3rd, so please check out stuff coming up that is on the Sadistic Penguin Studios YouTube channel. Look out for episodes 148 and 149 in the next week. We're going to keep dropping these and getting ready for our episode 150. We're just kind of getting stuff ready to go, talking about things that we've missed since we've been gone. Like I said, we're going to be going through that Riot Fest lineup on episode 149. So please keep tuning in. Please listening. Please keep rocking out. And as always, I am Tony B. This is the Hookup on Music. And go back and check out those shows. And we really appreciate you sticking around with us through the thick and the thin, so to speak. So everyone out there, enjoy the rest of your day. And we will be talking soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening. Please look out for the audio version wherever you jam.